seemed so magnanimous, but we were not told the ruined countries had to spend the loans with American corporations. They did not tell us that. No, they did not tell us that. So then the Korean War, then both the North and South had crossed the 38th parallel dozens of times. The North was finally lured into invading South, and after several years, the war approached the Chinese border, where there had been a communist revolution in 1949. So maybe there was a connection. Who knows? Because soon it was made clear that East was East and West was West, and never the twain, even through the United Nations, crippled by its veto for the powerful ones, could meet. So let's get on with war production, because everyone knew we would have to fight our ally, the Soviet Union, that had borne the brunt of loss, death, and damage on our side in World War II. For example, 20 million dead at the hands of the Germans. But that didn't make any difference. We had to protect the world from insidious forces that would change the market economy that we knew worked so well everywhere under our leadership. But then the Russians invaded Czechoslovakia. And all we did since World War II was invade the Dominican Republic, Grenada, Cuba, Lebanon, to bomb Iraq, get troops in Iran, invade Vietnam, bomb Cambodia and Laos, overthrow Nicaragua, set up military governments in Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala, kill the presidents of the Congo and Chile, break up Yugoslavia, seemingly doing fine, then get troops into Bosnia, Serbia and Croatia, Montenegro and Herzegovina, and finally bomb Serbia into the 4th century BC. Well, then with sanctions and controlled airspace, completely dominate their death squad governments, who in Venezuela and Colombia, under U.S. aegis, began the shipments of massive amounts of drugs into American cities, bomb Panama, and most of all drive the Soviet Union into bankruptcy. Their great opponent, the Soviet Union, into bankruptcy, trying to keep up with our bombs, our bombers, and nuclear rockets, all aimed at them, just in case, of course, always just in case. Our 50,000 nuclear bombs, our 37 submarines, each with over 400 nuclear warheads on board, our aircraft carriers with bombs and planes and torpedoes on all 7 oceans, all weapons of peace, the whole world in armed camp, armed with American weapons, aimed now at everybody. So finally, after a few years, a party of American leaders with pride wanted to take a look at the picture of Dorian America again, after years of warfare on each continent. They remembered the picture. They had not seen it for years. They turned back at the door in the dim light of what they saw. Oh, I can hardly tell you. What they saw was Dorian America sitting in his place, a submachine gun across his lap, a tank crewman's helmet on his head. His gaunt face and bugged eyes give him a hideous look, like a warrior from another planet, around another star in another time in celestial history. And in the shadows behind him, the figure in the dim light of a military tank, its 4-inch gun glowing from the heat of its firings, and swinging around to be aimed almost directly at us. As soon as we understood, some of us dropped to the ground. Others fled through the heavy swinging entrance door into the light of day. Several of them vomited. Others ran to the protective railing of the bridge and looked down, then looked skyward with terrified faces, hardly aware of each other. All looked as though they had had a deep, grinding look at hell. What, oh dear God, what was the truth of all this? What is the Dorian picture trying to tell us? Please, dear God, help us, God, oh God. Probably all we know is that it all has something to do with communism, terrorism, Karl Marx, socialism, the free market, investment, the stock market, stolen elections, corporate control of almost all the money everywhere. The rest of us, well, oh, what can you expect? We don't matter. It looks like this. Maybe in a few years left before this all over anyway, with all the money burning in hell, great roaring flames as huge mountains of paper money explode and roar in great orange and purple clouds and spread toward every horizon while there is still time to burn, at last, still time to burn. Then, in the desolation that follows, there is the original pristine portrait of Dorian America, and in the desolation and staggering wreckage of everything everywhere in sight is the tank commander's figure. Dorian was on the ground with all the ugliness visible, all the deformities, the midnight madness of the facial expression, the ultimate final death of America, with a pure original Dorian picture intact and still there. It had a wide smile, flashing teeth, bright steely blue eyes. The picture was erect, head held high. It was a picture of Dorian America. Each year's Thanksgiving was the occasion to visit this Dorian portrait, to enable all to keep the beauty of the country's birth in view, to renew their revolutionary spirit. But well, am I imagining it? But is the mouth beginning to curl into a twisted corner on the left side? What is the truth of all this? What is the Dorian picture trying to tell us?